The moment the replay began circulating, everything blew up, not because there was a small uptick. No, that could only be caught in slow motion. One straightforward question was being asked: how in the world did nobody blow the whistle when Caitlin Clark was struck in the throat?
Ladies, your thoughts just as the league continues to work through what many perceive as consistency issues, especially when it comes to games being officiated, Lisa.
Well, officiating is tough. I don't know if anybody's ever even tried to officiate. It's not the easiest game. It's one of the most thankless jobs you can do. But in this particular situation, I thought that the last official should have been able to catch that. I was actually watching this game and I was like, oh, wow, that was a bit.
The referee was practically on top of the play, which is the most bizarre aspect. Nothing stood in her way, so she had an unrestricted view. She witnessed the contact occur and the action just continued, with no players in the way and no odd camera viewpoint. As though nothing had occurred. At that point, everyone began freezing the video frame by frame in an attempt to determine what the in fact, officials witnessed. From this point on, the odd part grows increasingly larger.
So in that moment, I thought that the official missed the call. I'm not surprised that the league went back and fined Alyssa Thomas, but I think at the same time, it's tough to think that official would have missed that they didn't have a replay on it. That was tough to me. And I think overall, the league's got to do better. The officials have got to do better, but also players. Players have to clean.
Put it up. Fans of basketball are aware that officials miss calls every night. It takes place. Nobody demands perfection. However, this one was unique since the touch was clear enough that individuals started inquiring as to whether the league ought to examine the referee herself rather than just the player. Then came the slow-motion replay. Caitlin Clark made hard contact up high from every angle. She reacted right away when her head snapped back, but there was still no whistle. At that point, the discussion entirely altered. Rather than focusing just on Alyssa Thomas, people began discussing the crew that is in charge. To be honest, the league might have suffered even more from that, because when people start to lose confidence, every subsequent near call is questioned by the officials, every whistle raises suspicions. Every foul that is missed turns into a potential replay. Additionally, the timing could not have been worse. The WNBA has stated for months that player safety is of utmost importance. Then one of the top stars in the league is shot in the neck, in broad sight, and the authorities did nothing to stop it. Nobody really wanted that advertisement. Then individuals began to feel even more uneasy about another detail. The topic of conversation was no longer one whistle went unnoticed. People started to question if this was starting to become a pattern. The playback merely made things more clear. More loudly, some initially attempted to dismiss it as a challenging basketball move. The league then examined the video. Everything changed after the game. For the contact, Alyssa Thomas was suspended for 1 game. That ruling demonstrated that the league thought the play should have been disciplined, despite the fact that nothing had been called throughout the match. Everyone had a new query at this point, after observing if the league thought the play went too far. How could 3 officials have missed the video in real time? That question would not go away. Former athletes began to weigh in, and one viewpoint attracted a lot of interest. Lisa Leslie said that officiating is among the most difficult professions in athletics. While players are moving at full speed, officials must make snap choices. They are not expected to be flawless. However, she added that this play ought to have been called.
We used to play in a way that you protected one another. Yeah, I want to play physical, I want to play hard, but I'm not out here trying to hurt you. If I was out there for a loose ball and it was Renee down there, yeah, I'm going for the ball, but if I accidentally punched Renee or hit her in some kind of way, maybe the play goes on, but I help her up. I help her up.
However, she also brought up another factor that is sometimes overlooked. Playing basketball physically is one thing, defending one another is quite another. Leslie claims that players can engage in intense competition without needlessly endangering one another. She clarified that even unintentional touch typically results in a brief apology or a helping hand. Someone provide a backup. This was not the case here, and the replay just made the play appear worse. In the interim, Nate Tibbetts, head coach of the Phoenix Mercury, spoke up for Alyssa Thomas. He characterized her as a fierce rival rather than a dirty player, and claimed that before imposing the punishment, the league did not carry out a comprehensive investigation. Additionally, he said that during the review process, his organization was not adequately consulted. That reaction instantly fueled one more discussion. Was the suspension sufficient, or was there still a more serious problem?
Started like, dang, my bad. So I think that part is important too, the reaction. Maybe if Alyssa Thomas would have even turned like, dang, my bad, I didn't mean to hit you like that. It's a different thing, but that's not what happened. And so I think that the league got it right. But I think overall, Coach Tibbetts is correct.
Why? Because the original missed whistle never went away, regardless of how anyone felt about the punishment. Nothing could change the decision that the officials made throughout the game. The discussion then expanded much beyond a single play. Fans started relating this occurrence to a number of other contentious Caitlin Clark-related moments. Claiming that the frequency of missed calls was getting too high, unfair or fair. The league found itself defending not just one decision but also its general consistency as the perception grew quickly. This was no longer just about one foul, and the argument erupted once more. It became a brawl over whether the same degree of protection is given to each player in the league. The WNBA has spent months attempting to provide an answer to that issue. And this play added fuel to the flames. After that, it became even more difficult to explain.
Everything, consistency is important. It needs to be cleaned up for all players, regardless of what their accolades are. None of that part matters. It matters about protecting these players, no matter which team, which position, when they sub in, the start of the game to the end of the game. Every player deserves the same type of protection.
Lisa Leslie didn't sidestep the problem. Officials need to improve, she said. Additionally, she stated that consistency is important. From the first tip to the last buzzer, whether the player is a rookie or a superstar shouldn't matter. Or the final player to leave the bench every night, the standard must remain the same. That message received a lot of many supporters because it was straightforward. Safeguard every player, no matter what. Next, Nate responded. Tibbetts, who fiercely supported Alyssa Thomas. He said that her career has been built on playing hard, not engaging in dirty play. Additionally, he denied that the game had cheap shots, claiming that those who knew Thomas recognize her competitive style. The dispute became more louder as a result. One side was intent focused, the opposing side concentrated on the outcome. These aren't always the same.
100% supported by us. The people in this league know who AT is. She's a competitor, she's a winner, and she's tough. The one thing she is not is cheap. I respect Steph White. I got to know her with USA Basketball. I respect her as a coach and a person, and I understand her sticking up for Caitlin in this situation.
Even if someone intends to make a basketball play, they can nonetheless make risky contact. For this reason, leagues evaluate. After games, watch a video and administer discipline if needed. Then one more awkward query began to float. Shouldn't the contact have received a suspension following review? Whistle while the game is going on. Many supporters were unable to move past that point. The playback didn't immediately produce the contact. Everyone was forced to see it repeatedly due to the replay.
To say that we had 2 cheap shots in that game, to me, is ridiculous. Steph knows AT. She got the opportunity to coach AT for 2 years, and she knows what AT stands for and what she's about. Next, I'd like to hit on my disappointment with the suspension process by our league and our leaders.
In the meantime, videos from previous games began to reappear on social media. Fans highlighted a number of instances concerning Caitlin Clark. They felt that officials did not adequately regulate excessively aggressive play. It's debatable if each instance warranted a foul, but taken as a whole, they gave the impression that the league was having trouble upholding the same standards each night. That impression has the potential to be just as harmful as the missed call itself, since once the officiating's credibility begins to decline, every subsequent decision becomes examined under a microscope, which led to an even more severe critique of the league.
In the W, this was not a thorough investigation, in my opinion. The people involved were not questioned at all. It's extremely disappointing. No one from the league called AT, our security team, or myself about what we felt like happened in this situation. There is a protocol to be followed.
The officials continued the conversation. It soon swung in the direction of the league. People began to wonder why the WNBA is always caught up in these unnecessary disputes. 1 week, there is a discussion regarding physical have fun. Another rerun the next week sends fans scurrying to social media. Next, a further review. The league didn't want another explanation or headline. That was just the start of the criticism. Around the same time, supporters were already discussing a different choice unrelated to officiating. Many people noticed Caitlin when the WNBA unveiled advertising materials honoring the league's history. A significant anniversary poster did not include Clark.
I mean, it's either incompetence or intentional. Both are embarrassing. The WNBA, they just keep driving into a wall at full speed with Caitlin Clark. They now have a commemorative poster of 30 years of the WNBA. Caitlin Clark's not on it.
Caused yet another outburst of annoyance.
And it's not just like an ode to the veterans that started the league. Paige Beckers and Angel Reese are on it. And Caitlin Clark's not. You guys, when she broke into the league, you moved her road games to bigger arenas to accommodate the fans. You were flying the last 6 rows of Southwest Airlines until she made such an impact, you pivoted to private jet.
This is due to the fact that Clark has significantly impacted national attention, attendance, and television ratings since joining the league. Rather than applauding the momentum, the league had to deal with another round of awkward queries.
And she's not on the 30-year poster, but Paige Beckers and Angel Reese are. What? I mean, recently there were TV games. Hers got double the rating of Asia Wilson, the best player in the league, the 3-time champ and the 4-time MVP. Double the rating. This is a paranoid, weird, insular league.
That trade is awful. Great basketball should have been the main focus. Rather, everyone was discussing missed public PR hassles and whistles. After that, people began piecing everything together, including the missed foul, the suspension, the controversy about consistency, the criticism from past players, and the mounting annoyance from admirers. After a few days, each story might have vanished on its own. Together, they produced a far larger image. Something the league must now deal with. There is one last question that won't go away. How many more occurrences are possible? Before trust in the officiating begins to seriously deteriorate, referees are not expected to be flawless. Basketball goes too quickly for that. Every sport has missed calls. However, supporters do anticipate clear plays to be acknowledged, particularly when it comes to player safety. Because of this, the story grew much beyond a single incident. In a single regular season match, it turned into a conversation about responsibility, consistency, regarding if the same level of protection is applied to each player each and every night. The league has already released the suspension is a definitive decision. The focus is still on the officials and what transpires with the following time a similar play takes place. This argument will recur if the same kind of contact is called in a different way tomorrow. Once more, make sure to subscribe to Elite if you liked this video and would want to see more coverage of the top WNBA stories. Ball knowledge to ensure you don't miss the next breakdown.